Tolamo Motswana is a fashion and design brand by creative and entrepreneur and multidisciplinary artist Tolamo Mokhoenyana. The brand's most prominent and successful line, called Motswana, influenced the official company's name change to Tolamo Motswana, paying homage to Setswana, the roots, culture, and identity. The company believes fashion is beyond material and that it is more spiritual than just garments. Very, very interesting stuff. Welcome, Tolamo. How are you doing on this cold morning?
Thank you so much. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time, man, to hang out with us on a Friday morning. I'm sure, man, you're quite busy. You know, I'm sure people are wanting some pieces of garments influenced by the Setswana culture. And I'll tell you, I'm very biased and I'm happy and I'm excited to be talking to someone who conceptualizes her pieces of artistry and clothing based mo puong ya rona le setso sa rona sa Setswana. That's amazing. That's great, man. So talk to me, Tolamo. It says here you're a multidisciplinary artist, right? You are a creative and, of course, an entrepreneur. What I'm interested in is how did you initially get into the space of creativity and entrepreneurship, of course?
I was very creative, even though at school my teachers loved my speaking side and my writing more than they loved my graphic design and creativity. But I've always been a creative child, and I found that if I was able to infuse my creativity into school or into anything that I find boring, that thing automatically becomes interesting. So if I don't like mathematics, but when I study mathematics, I use color graphics and it's interesting. Now I can look forward to learning about mathematics because I am able to infuse the things that I love, the natural part of me into it. So it feels like I'm still doing something that I love. And for entrepreneurship, I didn't actually want to be an entrepreneur or plan to be one. I just purchased a sewing machine in my third year of varsity in 2021 and started learning how to sew because I've always had this vivid style that captured people's attention. So I started sewing, I learned, and here we are. I've been exploring and I'm still exploring today.
Very, very interesting. So, look, someone is hearing, because terms like or words like creative and artistry and entertainer are words and terms that we're very used to, right? And we've heard before. But multidisciplinary artist, right, is a word or a term that is rarely used. We barely ever come across that word or that term. And the other one that I was very interested in is conceptual designer. So for someone who is watching, whoever you're reading, from wherever they could be streaming from and watching from, let's try to delve into those terms. Firstly, multidisciplinary artist, and then secondly, conceptual designer. What do those mean, and how did you find yourself eventually holding those titles?
Okay, multidisciplinary artist is an artist who has many talents, many artistic skills and abilities. And so because I was a graphic designer and a fashion designer, and I was making music, writing poetry, doing public speaking, running a media company, a fashion company, I was doing so many things, and I sort of like wanted an umbrella for all those titles instead of always calling myself different things. And so I came across the word multidisciplinary artist. It's essentially someone who's gifted in many art forms and does many different things in the creative space. And as for conceptual designer, it's someone who designs concepts and ideas. Let's say for a product, we want to launch a skincare product. Yes. I get to decide the story behind it. I get to decide how it's going to make people feel and how we plan to deliver it, how the branding is going to look, like how it's going to be launched. I'm actually behind the entire concept, directing the entire concept.
Yeah. Very, very
Yes.
interesting. Very interesting. And the colors that you use, man, I see brown and beige, the primary colors that you make use of, representing or symbolizing the earth and the mountains. And I love that. I love that so much, man. I resonate with, those colors, like those earthy tones. I mean, you can see from the hat, the glasses, I love those earth tones. So as we draw close to the end of Mandela Month, we remember that you can also wear your culture, right? And this is when culture becomes fashion. This is the concept that is conceptualized by Tolamo. And we remember that Mandela's legacy was about reclaiming identity. And the conversation is about expressing exactly that through fashion that speaks Setswana, touches the soil, and of course tells you a story without saying a word. This is what Tolamo has curated with her designs. So, talk to me. When you first got into the space of conceptual designing and multidisciplinary artistry, some of the challenges that you have come across, because I'm sure there's quite a few, and the artistic space in its own holistically and even in its entirety is quite what's the word, challenging, but when you competitive, yes, it's quite competitive. So how have you found the space, and how have you overcome some of the challenges that you've come across, especially as a conceptual designer?
I would say that at first I was all over the place. I did not have structure. I did not know how to do what I do now with so much ease and confidence. And so at first I was still trying to figure it out and trying to know who I am so that the world doesn't convince me I'm not what I think I am.
Yeah.
And so some of the challenges tse ke kopaneng le tsone e ne le gore a ke itse ke dire yang ntho e ke bonang mo tlhaloganyong a ke itse ke tlise yang to life because the idea di dintsi like that all the time mari like a di go diragale sepe ka tsone ka gonne di mo tlhaloganyong and they don't materialize. And so I've actually I went from idea to production, and it was so difficult because some of the things like batho ba bang like are we so guy for branding or for printing or for material, and so it wasn't easy, but I would say because of the support that I've had and the belief, because like mo botshelong ke kopane le so many difficulties, I've lost so much, I've overcome so much trauma, and so I feel like that kind of made me be able to withstand whatever challenges come my way and believe I can overcome them. And so I feel like I'm still overcoming, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
More ideas keep coming, I keep figuring it out. So yeah, ke santsane ke too.
When was the moment that you decided that Motswana would be more than just a line, and when it became the heart of your brand, and when you decided that Motswana would be the backbone of your brand?
Because of the support relaying with the designs, with like everything that I shared, I decided because of these people actually believe in this and they see it as something that is worthy without questioning, without I felt they were that call to say, so so yeah, like I feel like because of the support that people gave me, I was able to believe in that the brand name should be Motswana.
I love that. I love that. And I love how you also, like I mentioned, the browns and the beiges for me and those earth tones resonate with me so much. And I love that. So, I mean, with the fact that the shade of earth brown is so striking, and it's like the country, Botswana, right? Or Botswana's soil. What does it mean for Botswana, and how do listeners wear it with pride? So if, for instance, someone is watching and listening from wherever they're tuned in from, and they decide to reach out to Tolamo and say, hey, look, man, I saw what you were doing, I heard about you, and I want some of your pieces. How would you describe for that person that they wear that piece of garment with that Tswana pride?
Honestly, I would just like make them aware gore the Motswana actually took gore Batswana ke bo mang. Like you
Yeah.
just mentioned gore the soil, the roots of the tree, like mala o mosetla o has always been like mala wa Batswana. And so I was like make them aware gore when they're wearing the brand, they actually tapping like into who they've always been, even though it hasn't been represented in fashion. It's just like extending that pride, and so yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. Taking pride in your Setswana culture. Ah, man, I love it. Shout out to Botswana all over, man. Yeah. Talk to me, Afriberry.
Man ko re o itse gore tiro o ira man ira gore Batswana ba kgone go ikgantsha ba ipitse sefuba ka setso sa rona, man, because it shines a light on basically what the Setswana or Botswana people have to offer, and I just want to say that that's very amazing. And we also noticed that your designs went super viral, because when I first saw your designs, I think it was around April, a friend of mine posted them on his WhatsApp status. I saw this, I'm like, man, this one is amazing. It's nice. And we saw that the love that you got from the media and the people was pretty amazing. And then we also noticed that you said that you made more money in May than you've ever made since you started your fashion brand. So I want to know, how did that life-changing event feel like when you finally saw that, you know what, all the work that I've been putting through, it's finally paying off and people are noticing?
It felt really amazing. It felt like divine intervention,
Oh,
because when you spend nako e telele o sa reap the rewards of your work,
yeah.
o starta go batla go inela and to think maybe the universe isn't listening, maybe God won't deliver, maybe badimo a ba sa batla go ntshegetsa. So you start questioning your talent, you start questioning what you're called for. And so when that moment happened, it was for me an affirmation that I have to continue. And like these are the rewards of all the work that I've put in, especially internally. So yeah, it was confirmation from the universe.
Yeah. I love that. Confirmation from the universe. I love that. And the universe giving back to you exactly what you have put out yourself. I love that so much. So, I mean, and the reason that I say that is because you have said that fashion is more than just material. It's not just about piecing together a couple of materials and garments and making like a nice garment. It has a spiritual inclination to it, right? So how does that very sacred energy show up in your pieces? If ke re ko wena, look, Tolamo, ke ya ko graduationing, or I am going to a wedding somewhere, I want you to create a piece for me, like a suit or a nice shirt or pants or whatever the case is. How does that energy come through with your designs and the final pieces of garment that you put together?
So sometimes, like, I like to reimagine outfits, to reimagine designs. I don't like to just go with, okay, a formal outfit is has supposed to be a suit and it's supposed to be this way. I like to get out of my comfort zone and go out of like the confines or the boxes that have been put in place. And so I would put branding on something that is formal, like a suit, on the sleeves of the suit, or add a big bow, go be a little bit dramatic. But
Yeah.
also before I design anything, or in the process of designing something, I am aware of my intentions, I'm aware of my energy. And so I realize that whatever I create in that process, and with the intention that it has, it actually can transfer to the person as they wear it, because now because energy is transferred. I believe energy, it is exchanged.
Yeah.
And so because of I'm mindful of how I create, of what I say, how I feel, what I actually believe, and the natural state that I'm in, the frequency and vibrations that I'm on, I believe that it translates into designs that are bold, that are innovative, that still are essentially cultural with our colors, but still like stand out and like adhere to the theme of what the customer would want.
I love
Yeah,
that.
man, it's a lot, Daniel.
It is, but I love it so much, and I'm here for it, man. I love how you say, it's a culture, it's a theme, and energy is transferable. It's always constant. It's there. You just have to harness it and make use of it as best as you can. I love that. I love that so
Yes.
much because the reason I say I love that you said that we're your culture for a long time. Fashion has not been representative of Botswana. We have not been boldly showcased and had our culture embraced. Thus, the Motswana line embodies true qualities of Setswana by tapping into the roots and authenticity of the culture. I love that so much. I'm there. I resonate. I feel you, and I'm on the same frequency level as you are. So very quickly as we close off, so even with the scattered team and sourcing challenges, right? You're delivering quality on a day-to-day basis, or whenever you conceptualize and put together pieces of art. What gives you the fire to keep building from Mabopane to the wider South Africa and beyond, of course? So what keeps you going and waking up and showing up on a day-to-day basis and keeping this brand alive?
Honestly, I'm aware that I have a soul mission to achieve on this earth. That when my soul decided to be born, it came here with a mission to achieve something. And so I don't take that lightly. I take it very seriously. I work on myself. I'm aware. I tap into my higher power. I'm gentle and kind to myself. And so all of those qualities just make me want to have more of that softness
Yeah,
and that freedom.
very cool stuff.
Man, that is amazing. And I've also noticed that your brand talks about basically the journey about Botswana, lo gore Batswana ba tswa kae in terms of their heritage and spirituality. And I'm also here at your Facebook page, and I see that one post around June, e re nako ya tsamaya dilo di a fetoga, mo e leng gore bua ka bongaka ba Batswana. And so I want to know what a spiritual message, or how does spirituality tap into your creativity, and what message would you want to actually deliver to the world for people maybe who are like spiritually open and like are welcomed into receiving different teachings from different cultures?
Okay, so in terms of spirituality, when you get an idea, that idea is not physical, it's not tangible. It's actually in 5D frequency. So because I like to think about spirituality, I like to imagine that sometimes my ancestors or the energies in my energy field are contributing to the ideas that I have. And so maybe say an uncle that had a talent for visual art passed on without actually exploring and using their talent. I feel like sometimes when I get ideas, I can tap into their energy field as well, because we're in the same space, in the same frequency. And so the ideas that I share also come from them. And so they materialize into the vision that I have through my mind. So because ideas are not tangible, I believe they are spiritual, because yeah.
It's above the it's above the
The
physical,
physical.
yeah, that we're living in, man. And
Yes.
it's deep rooted, and we need not play around with it. When Sidimu comes for you, Sidimu ga se go tlela, ga re tshameke ka sone, man. We take it very seriously, and we
Yeah.
harness that energy, and it's sacred, and we re tshwara ka re ke le, and I love that so much. I love that so much. So in
Yeah.
closure, what's next for Tolamo? Any local hangouts or creative spaces where we can bump into you or run into your work? What's happening currently and in the near future?
Okay, so currently we want to showcase our designs at markets. We want to be out there because we've been online way too much and doing too much groundwork. I feel like we hardly ever allow ourselves to go out there, be on the ground. And so right now we're looking for just markets to be present, We're also attending an event on the 9th of August. I'll be a speaker showcasing my event,
Yeah.
my items. And so, yeah, we want to get out of our comfort zone. We're too, we like working together and then sending things out without actually interacting with customers. And I feel like we need that customer interaction. We need for the customers to actually see the things before they receive them. Just that, I get out of our comfort zone, to be honest.
Yeah, very, very, very cool stuff. So, with that being said, someone is listening and watching and wants to reach out to Tolamo, wants to find your designs, your pieces of clothing, your garments, and everything else in between, or wants to get in touch with you, see how they can collaborate or see how they can work with you, and grow the space of artistry. How do we do that? From social media to emails to WhatsApp numbers or anything else in between. Talk to me. How do I do that and go about that?
Okay, so you can contact the brand Tolamo Mokhoenyana. On Facebook, it's Tolamo Mokhoenyana. On Instagram, it's at Tolamo Mokhoenyana. On TikTok, it's also at Tolamo Mokhoenyana. Our email address is tolamomokhoenyana@gmail.com. And for our WhatsApp, it's 060 051 0568.
Very, very, very cool stuff. So I'm hearing kids playing in the background. So I'm assuming, because I thought you're somewhere in Pretoria or somewhere more Gauteng.
I'm at school. They're like, Kimo Mabopane and Kimo Skolong.
Oh, I see. Because on other side, it's not so sunny and bright, So I was wondering, Horaibo, are you somewhere in Botswana or something? So with that being said, I'm going to give you very quick three sayings, right? Tsasetswana, and the aim is for you to finish the phrase. Right? Don't worry, Linda self. When we were coming up with these yesterday, because Afriberry and myself, here at the station, right? But it was some more Gauteng, some more Soweto, basically, and the variations are quite distinctive. So it's nothing too hectic, I promise you. So the first one is as follows: Yare, Gabomoto Hotebe. Hey, come on. Hey, well done, Tolamo. And the meaning of that, is one's home is a source of pride and protection. Right? Very, very cool stuff. And then the second one says, Le jaka khaletswe bogale. Le jaka khaletswe bogale. Khaletswe bogale, man. Okay, so this one is le jaka nna khaletswe bogale. The definition of this one is eating alone doesn't spark anger. Share food and share love.
Okay, that's actually beautiful.
Yeah, very, very. And then the last one, Ngwana osa uwathola. Ngwana osa iringi? Yes. So ngwana osa wathola.
Ngwana osa leleng.
Okay, I'll give that to you because the one we were looking for is ngwana osa lweng wathola. So osalileng, you're actually right. Yeah, very, very cool stuff. So that was very cool, man, and that was a fire engagement. A huge shout out to you, of course, Tolwane, and we appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us on this Friday morning and get into all things Tolamo Motswana, and hopefully, God willing, in the very near future, we can actually have you right here in studio, so that with some of your design design so that we can showcase them and actually show them to our Vooka nation, and so that they can have an opportunity to see what we've been talking about. You know, when we talk about multidisciplinary artistry and the designs that are influenced and have so much of the Setswana culture embedded in them, man.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Showcase it. I would love that.
Yes, we're looking forward to it, and we're absolutely and utterly open to it, and we can't wait to have you over. So with that being said, do enjoy the rest of your day, Tolamo. I know that you're at school, like you mentioned, and we've enjoyed and had such a great time interacting and engaging with you. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of the weekend and the day.
Thank you so much. Really enjoying.
Thank you. Very, very cool stuff, man. That was Tolamo Motswana, Tolamo Mokhoenyana, a multidisciplinary artist and entrepreneur, and of course conceptual designer, and she's the one who is behind the brand of Tolamo Motswana.